Good Tuesday morning, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Tuesday. Starting off, what is going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina? Well, we're looking pretty good and dry right now. No rainfall throughout the entire state. But if we see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we have some severe weather in portions of West Virginia, Ohio, also inside of Indiana, Iowa getting in on some severe weather. And then down there in the Southwest, we have some rainfall from Arizona into California, Nevada. And then pretty much, some showers in some other spots. But for the most part, we're looking good. Now, in terms of cloud cover, we do see some cloud cover like the CSRA areas, the Midlands, the Low Country, upstate even a little bit. But if you look towards like the eastern parts of the state, you're not really seeing too much in terms of heavy cloud cover activity. Now, what about cloud cover for the future? We go on and push this forward all the way through into around like 12 p.m. or so. Cloud cover builds in like the Low Country, the Grand Strand, the PD, the Midlands. But overall, things don't really look that bad. As cloud cover continues on, even as you move to around 7 p.m., 8, 9, 10 p.m. or so, cloud cover does seem to try to get a little bit more on the scattered side. So not really too widespread. Even as you get to around 12 o'clock in the morning, this is what we're looking at. Now, what about for our current temperatures? We're talking about 79 in Somerville, 80 in Charleston, 80 Beaufort, as well as 79 in Myrtle Beach, 79 in Columbia, 78 also inside of Newberry, 74 Greenville, 75 Spartanburg, as well as Gaffney, 76 in York and Rock Hill. Now, what about for our air quality? Well, we're looking good, except for if you're in the upstate. Upstate has a moderate risk of air quality. Not too good, not too bad either. So if you're in that area right there, make sure that you're paying attention for that air quality. High temperatures today, we're talking about 97 in Greenville, 95 in Greenville, 95 Spartanburg, as well as 97 in Columbia, 97 in Sumter, and 96 in Kingstree, 94 Georgetown and Charleston, 95 Hilton Head Island, and 92 in Myrtle Beach, 96 Aiken, as well as 97 in Florence, Sumter, and Cheraw. Heat index values for today, we're going to be up to around 110 plus today. In terms of heat index values, look over there near Charleston, Hilton Head Island, 109, 106 inside of Myrtle Beach, even around 105 in Dillon, 104 Columbia, and then if you look up even in the upstate, 101 Greenville, 100 in Spartanburg. So it's going to be hot no matter where you are throughout the state, but especially if you're near that coastal area. That coastal area is going to be very hot. Winds for today, not going to help you out too much. 5 to 10 miles per hour inland, 10 to 15 miles per hour towards the coastal areas. Wind gust, going to be around the same thing, around 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now, in terms of rainfall, a good amount of rainfall is possible. 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch for areas like Greenville, Anderson, going on to Aiken, Walterboro potentially. 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch in areas like Charleston, Greenwood. And then some areas may even see a quarter of an inch to a half an inch or a half an inch to an inch. Now, for the SPC outlook, we do have a risk for severe weather for today. It's for the very northern part of the state, though, so it's not really too, too widespread, not throughout the state. Isolated severe storms possible in that dark green area. Other than that, we're good. Everywhere else, no severe weather is expected, but you never can rule out an isolated severe storm somewhere. It is summertime, so you never can rule out an isolated severe storm somewhere throughout the state, even if it's not inside of the dark green. And then in terms of green, if you're in the green, you have a chance of isolated flash flooding from the upstate to the Midlands to the PD areas as well. Again, isolated flash flooding is possible in the green areas. That's a 5% risk of flash flooding. Then for the crazy score, we're at a 4 right as well. We're at a 4. Nice, calm conditions right now throughout the state. And then let's go on and get a look at the models real quick. I'm going to move over into the HRRR models. Hopefully the HRRR is a bit more on the right side today, because yesterday morning wasn't quite hitting. It was actually pretty off for what was going on. Hopefully today it's not as bad, but we start off here at 8 o'clock in the morning, push this forward, and it says that we don't really get started with shower and storm activity till around like 4 or 5 p.m. And it's really just isolated to scattered, and you don't see a whole lot. You really do not see a whole lot. Now, just really just looks like isolated to scattered shower and storm activity here, 7 p.m. moving all the way to 9 p.m. And then it's kind of done afterwards. Will that happen today? Well, I do want to take a look at the RRFS as well. Another model that we can use just to see. We start off here going into around 11 a.m. all the way into tonight, 2 p.m. here. This afternoon, excuse me, by 2 p.m. And then as we move to around 6 p.m., there goes that risk of storm activity up there in the upstate. Now that, could definitely provide some damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour up there around 6 p.m. all the way through to 8 p.m. And this one seems like the more accurate model, but still, it doesn't show a whole lot in terms of, you know, widespread rainfall activity, even into the early afternoon, like we saw yesterday. Now, will it happen? I guess it does have the potential. It definitely does have the potential. Really, just also determines of how hot it gets. Like by 11 a.m., we're already expected to be up into the 80s, but that's not really too hot. It's not really too hot. Really, if we want to see that convection really start, probably need to be more in the 90s. But, anyways, that's it for the models. NHC, this is the National Hurricane Center. We're still watching for this red area over here. Shower and thunderstorm activity is currently limited in association with the area of low pressure located about 500 miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Environmental conditions are forecasted to become more conducive for development during the next couple of days, and a tropical depression will likely form during the latter half of the week. So this has a 30% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and a 70% chance over the next 7 days. The other area that we're watching for disturbance 2, development's not expected with that one, so we are good with this one. And then the one that's going away from us up here on the northern part, that's expected to go into cooler waters later this week, ending its chances of formation by Thursday. So I'm not worried about this either. Only one that I'm really watching for is the red one. A red 70% chance of forming over the next 7 days, and it could form during the latter half of this week. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say for today here. So if you've not hit the like button yet or the subscribe button, please go on and do so. Also hit the share button, share with all your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, people that you don't talk to regularly, because it's free and it always will be free. Also, make sure that you go on and share with your friends. Well, I already said that, I'm pretty sure. But I'll be back tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. with your Tuesday evening forecast update. Make sure that you're there for that. And hit those 2 buttons before you leave if you're new.